Jake, I don't like robots. As a matter of fact, I'm afraid robots will take over this Earth. So, as far as I'm concerned, any robot is a bad robot. Speaking of robots taking over the Earth, stress? Now, stress is something that we all have. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you do, you're going to have stress. And I can tell you right now, the job that I have currently is probably the most stressful job that I've ever had. So, of course, I'm interested in learning how to best deal with that stress. One thing that's really great about my job is it actually does offer trainings on things like how to cope with stress and how to get beyond stress. So I went ahead and signed up for one, and that was supposed to happen today, Monday the 24th. However, the process of getting to this training was a lot more difficult than one would expect, especially for stress training. So it first started off last week on Monday. I had an entire day planned. I had a whole lot of things to do for Tuesday. And to kind of fill everybody in, the way that my job works is I schedule out my calendar for the week. So everything that is coming up that is due that needs to be done, I schedule that and then I do it. And that's kind of how it works. So anyway, my Tuesday was completely and totally packed. But I get a text at 3:30, about an hour before I needed to leave, while I was out in the road doing what I needed to do. This text told me that training was tomorrow. At that point, I totally panicked, and I had no idea what I was going to do. So I quickly raced back to the office to try to find out if someone could cover all the things that I had to do that were needed to be done by that date. Try to find out what was going on. And unfortunately, I could find literally nobody to cover for me. So at this point, my stress level was getting higher and higher and higher. And I was basically at a point of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I have a training to teach me how to deal with stress, and I'm getting overloaded on stress right now. Finally, I was able to locate the woman who is in charge of getting the scheduling taken care of, and she told me that the scheduling was a kind of a mess up, a conflict or something, and that I was actually supposed to go on the 24th, which is today, and head over to that training then, and not last Tuesday when I was being told it was. So everything was great. I was able to go into work on Tuesday, do my normal thing, get everything done that I had planned to do for Tuesday, and just move on with my day. And one might think that's where it would end. One would be wrong. When Friday came around, I was already prepared, everything was taken care of, and I was ready to go to the training on Monday. I made sure that I texted all the people that I was riding with. We all know when to meet, where to meet, and that we were all going to be driving together. We had the vehicle situation under control. Everything was perfect and going according to plan. So we met at work. We were able to pick up everybody there, then head over to somebody else's house who was closer to where we were going. We picked them up, and we headed out to the actual training. By the way, work is 35 minutes away from my house, and the training is a further hour and 30 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes into our drive, we got a phone call. The phone call was from the person who schedules all the training, and the information that she gave us was kind of disheartening. She told us that she'd received an email Sunday afternoon that said that our training was canceled due to a trainer's emergency. And of course, since it was the weekend, no one was able to get the emails, and she didn't get the email until she came in at 8:30. We left at 7 o'clock in the morning. We were about 10 minutes away from getting to the training when we found out about this. Needless to say, we turned around and started coming back. We eventually got back to the office, and I did a couple things and ended up coming home at lunch. Coming home early, specifically to record this for you guys. You better say thanks. Anyway, all that to say that I was heading out to learn how to deal with stress and stressful situations and how to better cope with that in my life. And the process for getting to that training has been nothing but consistently stressful. And that got me thinking on some ways that we can work on coping with our stress. So I'm going to share with you some ways that I cope with my stress. Way number one, play a game, play a video game. Something that I wasn't really using as a way of stress relief for a long time because I was creating content for my gaming channel. Gaming had become a bit of work to me. So what I have done recently, and I know a lot of people on my channel don't like it, but I've taken a little bit of a step back, and I'm not putting out content every single day like I was. That gives me time to play some games that I wouldn't put on the channel necessarily, and I'm able to play them, have some fun with them, and just in general enjoy myself while gaming. Way number two is to take a bath. Not a shower, but a bath. Taking a good hot bath, or sometimes even a cold bath, is something that, to me, really helps relieve my stress. I can sit down, I can just relax, enjoy myself, calm down, and, you know, it works. You get a hot bath, and it helps soothe some of your muscle pains and stuff like that. Just a really great way to just sit down, calm down, and just, you know, have a good relaxable hour or so. Way number 3 would be something that I do quite often. Driving to and from work, driving to and from wherever I have to go, I like to listen to classical music. Classical music, to me, not necessarily to everybody, is a really soothing sort of thing. I really enjoy classical music, and it is a way to help me bring my own blood pressure down. So if I'm having a really stressful day, I won't throw on something that's super loud and obnoxious and just crazy. I'll put on some classical music and kind of just chill out in my own car there. Way number 4 would be talking to people. Talking to some friends, even just through texting. Sometimes you just gotta vent a little bit. Venting is a really good way to get some stuff off your chest. And it's weird, but it seems like if you say it out loud, even if you're saying it out loud to nobody, sometimes it feels like a weight has been lifted off of you, and therefore you can cope with stress a bit more. Anyway, those are just some of my tips, some of the things that I do for stress. They don't always work all the time, but, you know, for the most part, they kind of get me through the day. Jake, if you or anybody else has any suggestions for dealing with stress, I certainly would appreciate it, as I did miss my training. And I'm sure the greater number of all of us anyway have so much stress going on in our lives that any sort of tips that can help out with coping with stress is something that we would welcome. Anyway, Jake, that's everything from me. Hope you learned something, and until next time, you'll be fine. Probably.